Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely day. Welcome to today's episode of How You're Getting Fucked, especially if you live in small town Texas and say nasty things about your local government. I shouldn't even say nasty things about your local government. I should say polite and truthful things about what's going on in your local government if they don't like the way that you say it. Yesterday I did a video going over many of the issues that I had in the state of New York, and for all the problems that I had, I never got treated the way that this woman was treated. This woman's name is Jennifer Combs. She's actually not the happiest in this picture, but this is a lot more than I would be smiling if I had been arrested for making a Facebook post that my local police chief didn't like. What did she do? What was her crime? On April 6th, she made a Facebook post that said, "We have received reports that some citizens have been hospitalized due to bacteria in the water. This is a serious public health concern that deserves immediate attention." And if you take a look, you can see that this is what the water looked like coming out of the tap in that part of town. Now, what's interesting about this is that she wasn't arrested until May. So she made this post on April 6th, and then the town actually put out a bulletin telling people, yeah, the water is bad here, and they still managed to arrest her. This was made on April 21st, about 2 weeks after her post. It says boil water notice for the city of Trinidad. Due to a low chlorine residual, the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality has required the city of Trinidad water system to notify customers to boil their water prior to consumption. And it tells you what you need to do. Bring it to a vigorous rolling boil if you're going to use it for ice or anything else. And I'm just going to say, listen, if the water that comes out of my faucet looks like that, there ain't no amount of burn in it that's going to get me to drink that shit. I'm just like, no, just no. The mayor of the town has said we have to get to a position where we can fix that infrastructure, and it's very expensive, as I'm sure that you can imagine. So the mayor of the town is admitting that the water sucks, and the town had also put out a water notice saying that you should boil the water because it looks like this. The police chief said on their official Facebook that these claims are simply false and have only caused unnecessary fear and confusion in our community. So it's kind of like that scene in The Illusionist, if any of you watch this, where Eisenheim is doing a really cool thing on stage with showing you his trick, and the police chief gets mad at the fact that this may cause people to get mad at the king, so he just arrests them for bucking with the public order. The only difference is that that was over 100 years ago in a movie, and this is 2026 in the United States of America. What the fuck? This is absolute clown shit. If you read the law, you could argue in some way that maybe, just maybe, she went up to the line of it. And we're going to talk about that. False alarm or report, section 42.06. A person commits an offense if he knowingly initiates, communicates, or circulates a report of a present, past, or future bombing, fire offense, etc., etc. An offense under this section is a Class A misdemeanor involving a blah, 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 public water. So she posted something about public water that could cause action by an official or volunteer agency, place a person in fear of serious bodily injury, or interrupt the... This is really for yelling fire in a crowded theater. That's what this is for. In my opinion, when you look at the writing of this law, the intention of it is don't yell fire in a crowded theater, don't call 911, don't claim that the governor is putting nuclear peptides in the water and get everybody to go insane. It's not meant for a woman making a Facebook post because her water looks like this. And they doubled down on their decision to do this. Combs did say that multiple citizens had posted to Trinidad's police department's Facebook page stating they were hospitalized or affected by consuming the city's water. But I'm just going to throw this out there. Let's just say that that didn't happen. And let's just say that the police chief is actually correct. I'm going to give him his due here, that he was actually 100% correct and that there was not a single citation of somebody actually going to the hospital for it. There's this problem that I noticed that people can have, and I've noticed this as a manager, where they always manage to focus on the wrong thing, even if they're technically correct. And this is obviously a much crazier case of this, and it's very, very annoying, this type of annoying malicious compliance, where somebody will say something that is technically right, but they are so missing the mark on what the point of their job is. They are so missing the mark on their core mission that they can be completely right and completely fucking ridiculous at the same time. Let's say that there is no proof yet that the person that is in the hospital was in the hospital because of their water. Let's say that correlation is not causation. Let's say that the water was brown coming out of their faucet. The person went to the hospital. You can't yet prove what did it, and you haven't proved it yet. Therefore, you're not correct. Let's say that the officer is actually correct, that he has the standing to arrest somebody under this fucking law. Of all the things that you could choose to focus on, you choose to focus on this? As a manager, this is something that I have dealt with extensively, and it is very frustrating, where you are dealing with somebody who is technically correct, and you can follow the thread as to why they did what they did and how they were obeying the rule of the law. But then you look at the reason that you hired them. You look at what your vision for what they would bring to your company or your business or your nonprofit is, and then you see how they are spending their time, and you just want to facepalm and cry. Technically, maybe this officer was legally allowed to arrest this woman based on what it says over here. And he's doubling down on it, like many people that make horrible decisions. Is that really what your purpose is as a policeman? When people in a town are paying taxes to their local government for infrastructure, for police, for everything else, are they doing it because they want the town to be better? Or are they doing it because when somebody posts a notice that the water here has kind of been fucked up for 50 years, that they get arrested. Come the fuck on. And the fact that the guy actually doubled down on it is hysterical. Now, she did get a lawyer, and she does appear to be suing them. And it looks like she has a lawyer that likes his use of ChatGPT. I'm going to read what it is that he wrote. Now, she is suing the city, and I think that's great. I'm going to read her lawyer's statement. I have a feeling that her lawyer may have had some help with ChatGPT in writing this. I can recognize that type of writing anywhere. The city of Trinidad has become a cautionary tale. This is a word that's just been deleted from my vocabulary at this point. Of what happens when unchecked ego masquerades as governments. At the center of this ongoing constitutional crisis is the case of Jennifer Combs, whose unlawful treatment by city officials, you're going to see this happen, by the way. There's always a pattern of three where the third one is way longer than the first two. 1. Exposed a pattern of corruption, retaliation, and an abuse of power that has infected the entire municipal apparatus. That's total ChatGPT. Rather than course correct, city leadership has chosen to double down on its misconduct by engaging in an escalating campaign of retaliatory firings, punishing employees whose only offense was bearing witness to the truth or refusing to participate in the cover-up. The bitter irony is that the only individuals in this saga who have earned termination are Police Chief Gregory and City Councilwoman Marie Bannister, whose reckless abuse of authority and personal vendettas are not merely destroying careers. Oh God. It's not ABC, it's DEF with XYZ. Put some no anti-slop rules in your skill file, bro. I'll give them to you. I'll put them in the description down below if I make the time to today. They are dismantling institutional trust, public safety infrastructure, and the financial stability of an entire community. See that whole thing again? See the pattern? It's 3 and the third is always longer than the first 2. Trinidad deserves leaders who serve its people, not officials who sacrifice them on the altar of wounded pride. And to be clear, I agree with this. Whether her lawyer is a person or a clanker, I genuinely wish her the most of luck in suing this particular city. And again, the money that's being wasted on a lawyer here, the money that's being wasted on his Claude Max plan. I'm sorry, I can't help myself. The money that his lawyer is wasting on that Claude Max plan, the money that's being wasted on the attorney, the back and forth over all this could go into making the public water infrastructure not suck. And it's completely wasted. If you're a police officer, your job is not to enforce the law exactly as it is written in the stupidest fucking cases. Your job is to make people in the town feel safer and to actually ensure that they are safer and feel like they are better off as a result of being there. And this goes back to what I said, where there are people in this world that will find a way to take whatever fucked up shit that they did and chose to focus on and be able to point to their, look, see, this is part of my job description. And no. Your job, if you work at a company, if you work at a government, if you work at a nonprofit, is to push forward the mission of that company, that nonprofit, or that municipal government and make life better for people. Your job, if you work someplace, is not to do the technical little things that it says in there. Your job fundamentally, overall, is to make things better. And if you're not making things better, you gotta fucking go. I hate reading this shit where the guy is pointing to the exact letter of the law and doubling down and claiming this, because what he's pointing to here is not wrong. Sometimes you can actually follow what it says in the rule book and be completely fucking, a word I'm not going to say, at the same time. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Have you ever dealt with this, either with your coworkers, with a boss, or with an employee, where they're doing something and it technically matches what the letter says of what part of their job description is, but when you just look at the landscape of what you're tasked to do and the potential that you have to do good, and you see what they've chosen to focus on, it just makes you want to facepalm and cry. And I think that in and of itself should be a rule for jobs, whether it is for a private company, for a city, or for a nonprofit. Even if you are following the rule, if you are focusing on this, when you should be focusing on all of that, you just stop. Just stop. Just a rant. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. And if you want to update this with any details as this case goes on, I'll include a link to this article down below. And I will also do my best to make a skill file so that the person who is writing this, and all of you who email me or AI generated emails, you all get pissed at me when I tell you I'm deleting it without reading it. And fuck you for being lazy. I don't care. Just add this thing there. It'll just make life a lot easier for you. Just trust me on this one. It'll make people more likely to read the copied and pasted shit that you send them. And who knows, maybe it'll even help this woman's case, because the judge, you never know. Maybe that judge hates M dashes as much as I do. I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.